question, like where does Kevin Durant fit? Like
I'll tell you where he fits.
These older guys.
The Orlando Magic.
Really though?
Yeah. Well, the market is a team that's looking to win a championship next year.
Right.
Honestly,
if OKC falls short, Memphis is a good one.
Yeah.
But if OKC falls short this year, do they say, okay, let's trade somebody because they have like 10
Sam Presti won't do it. Too much bad blood there.
And I agree. I don't think it's necessarily the best fit. They have a wonderful thing
They
going
do.
on. Like,
but that's why I said if they fall short again.
Yeah, don't jack up the timeline on that.
Minnesota's a possibility.
Minnesota could.
Yeah.
Minnesota might make sense.
Minnesota could make sense
because and
will welcome it.
And KD
And
like each other.
it.
They
But
respect each other.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Phoenix is not going to have a lot of leverage in this. They're going to have to take what they can get.
I think they would.
What? To keep him again? Like, he doesn't want to be there.
The question for them was going to be whether Kyrie would opt out and try to connect with Kevin Durant somewhere, or bring Kevin Durant to Dallas. That was the thing. Yeah. Now that's 100% not a thing. Kyrie is definitely going to opt in, and then Kevin Durant is not going to come there now.
I wonder where Kevin Durant goes. Maybe that's the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about it. I mean, last night, was it last night? Yeah, they come all the way back, storming back.
Connor Gillespie.
Down 20 points
23.
or so.
They were down 23.
But your guy gets hurt, Bradley Beal.
My guy. I've never liked that guy.
You deemed him to get the bad guy, so that's why I said he's not your guy. He's to get the bad guy.
That's an insult. In my world, when you get the bag, you are not on my team.
What an asshole, too. Because the only way to improve that team was for him to be moved, and they came to him like 1,000 times, and he's like, "No, I'm not going anywhere," because he has a no trade clause. What an asshole, man! But they're probably going to get in the play-in now because Dallas, like you said, even if they don't tank, they're going to lose games.
Yeah.
And Dallas is ahead of Phoenix and they have the 10th spot, and Phoenix is in 11. So they're going to be in the play-in situation.
And behind that, I mean, we had a discussion a couple weeks ago. I mean, San Antonio without Wemby, they're not going to win.
No, they're not going to.
So they're just not
So now they have
that they're going to get hot and overtake anybody.
So they got lucky in a sense of. All that has to happen is Dallas stay relatively healthy and they are without the play in. But in any event, we don't see Phoenix going on a long playoff run.
No.
So yeah, Durant next year, they're talking about Phoenix engineering the trade and trading him somewhere.
Well, they have to.
That's the only way they can improve their team because Bradley Beal is not going to do anything.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean the question, like where does Kevin Durant fit? Like
I'll tell you where he fits.
These older guys.
State.
The Orlando Magic.
Really though?
Yeah.
I mean, and I say that because
shooting and scoring.
Your two best guys are Paulo and
they're pretty much the same position.
And Franz, and then
but you would have to move Franz.
You're saying that
in order to make it work? Yeah,
No.
You would have to.
They
don't have any other high contract guys, and with the new bargaining agreement, you have to match salaries. So it's not the old days.
Yeah,
Franz is the only guy you can move.
Well, you can move. I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing this, but
Isaac.
you can move Suggs.
Suggs and Isaac.
Isaac would be another guy. Wendell would be. I mean, I would do Wendell, Isaac.
Yeah, that's in a perfect world. But Phoenix
yeah.
is not. I mean, what does Phoenix want with fucking Wendell and
guys,
Suggs? Suggs is out for the year. Like, who knows what he's going to look like? They don't want those
Suggs
guys.
is the reason. Not having Suggs is the reason the Magic are in the position they're in.
Yeah, but when guys are on season injuries, I know we're in 2025, but I mean, like, you still have to see how these guys look before you make a move Kevin Durant for a guy. But I understand, like, yeah.
But what if really the question is,
but
what is
what other
the
team?
market
I know
for Kevin Durant, and what do they have to offer?
Yeah.
Well, the market is a team that's looking to win a championship next year.
Right.
Honestly,
if OKC
Memphis,
falls short, Memphis is a good one.
Yeah.
But if OKC falls short this year, do they say, okay, let's trade somebody because they have like 10
Sam Presti won't do it.
No,
Too much bad blood there.
And I agree. I don't think it's necessarily the best fit. They have a wonderful thing
They
going on.
They do.
Like,
but that's why I said if they fall short again.
Yeah, don't jack up the timeline on that.
Minnesota's a possibility.
Minnesota could.
Yeah.
Minnesota might make sense.
Minnesota could make sense.
Because I mean, and
will welcome it.
And KD
And
like
will
each
welcome
other.
it.
They
But
respect each other.
yeah. Just talking about fit, not what they give up. What Phoenix will want to do with Julius Randle is beyond my realm of comprehension.
But again, think about
he's
this.
a free agent.
They're
so.
not going to.
He'll be a free agent after this year? Oh, so you can't even trade him?
Yeah. But they're
damn.
not. I mean, Phoenix is not going to have a lot of leverage in this. They're going to have to take what they can get.
I think they would.
What? To keep him again? Like, he doesn't want to be there.
I mean, he said he does. But, I
Man,
mean,
he
what
don't
is that
wanna
worth?
fucking
I
be
know.
there.
What is that
Yeah,
worth?
no.
But I mean,
At the end of the day, he's going to
and
go.
I just thought about it. Golden State is off the table because of Jimmy. I just thought
and
about it.
I just don't think he wants to go back there.
I think after the season, like if it wasn't for the Jimmy move, if that was on the table, I think he would welcome it post after the season. Because in the interview he said, I just didn't want to be moved in the middle of a season to go anywhere. It wasn't a Golden State thing. It was, I want to see the season through with my guys. And then in the off season, what happens. I think that means, hey, Golden State. And then, hey, who knows? Maybe still you move Jimmy and whatever, a couple pieces for KD.
They're like 7 or 8 and 1 with
knows?
Jimmy. I mean, they're like a pretty good team.
So
now.
why mess that up?
Well, no.
Right?
Why not add KD? He would be.
No. You would have to be. I mean, unless you're talking about Draymond, it would have to be for Jimmy, or Draymond.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, Memphis. I think.
But Memphis is a good one. I like that.
That makes sense. Oklahoma. It makes sense from a basketball standpoint. Now, I don't think that'll happen. Just because of the way. Just because of the way that he left, and some of the things that Presti has said subtly about.
What about Miami?
Miami's not winning
rumored,
a championship with him. Though.
No, I know that, but I mean, Phoenix didn't win with him. Fucking Brooklyn.
Now
didn't
Pat is a superstar hunter.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll make a play.
Yeah, based on the Heat and Pat being superstar hunters, and being, I would think, desperate to become relevant.
Yeah. He'll make a play for Durant.
Yeah, a team I could see maybe trying to get him, depending on how this season ends up, is Milwaukee. Like, I think if you put KD on Milwaukee as opposed to Kyle Kuzma, they're a legitimate threat to knock off Boston.
And Kuzma is still relatively young. That's something for Phoenix, and of course Milwaukee will add in some other stuff. That's not bad. Yeah. Milwaukee and Memphis, I like those two.
Yeah, and then you know who else is gonna be, is gonna be thirsty to try to maybe make a move. And again, we just gotta wait and see how this plays out, because I do think that they can make a run, even though their recent performance has been bad. But the Clippers. You put James Harden, Kawhi, and KD together and make one last run. Like, if there's anybody that's willing to make that risk, it's Steve Ballmer. So.
That's true.
Then you're really like, it's the next 2 years, because you have to move off Powell, who is younger and has some game.
Yeah, but Powell's
not
though.
a needle. He's not a true needle mover, so I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I just don't know what his fit is with Booker, and honestly, like you mentioned these African American GMs, you forgot to mention James Jones. I mean,
that's right.
When I listened to him last year, explain to one of his staffers why they didn't need a point guard, a traditional point guard. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It
was nuts. We talked about it on the show too, because we were talking about Booker, because his point was with Booker and Durant, how much offense and this and that really needs to be ran, and like Juan said, it was really an idiotic way of thinking. But it's like, damn, you played in the league too, though. It's not like you're just some book pusher that doesn't know basketball. That was odd.
But he played in the league with LeBron.
Yeah.
But LeBron is a playmaker. He is a playmaker.
But what I'm saying, like he didn't play with a traditional point guard. Like all of his success was playing LeBron.
So he probably was
basketball.
drawing from that experience.
Yeah,
but LeBron he's a point guard in a 6'9" body.
No, I
that is a great point though.
Yeah.
That's a great point you bring up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and before we got a couple other things we have to hit. We only got like 20 minutes left or whatever. Devin Booker, like, it feels like 2 years ago we were saying he was Kobe Bryant's second coming, and now he escapes
for the record,
all
I never
criticism.
said that. Yeah.
Devin Booker escapes like literally all criticism. He never ever says a word about him, but something has to be off. He's Durant, Booker, Bobo, who plays well when he gets the minutes. Grayson Allen led the league in 3-point shooting last year. He's top 5 or 6 this year. That team should not be 11th seed, and those guys are relatively healthy.
Well, their roster is poorly built.
But they have enough pieces to not be down there if those guys are playing up to par. My point to bringing that up is I don't think Devin Booker has been playing up to par, but somehow no one ever says anything about it.
No, Booker, he should have been an all-star this year.
So you think he is playing up to par?
I think he's pulling his weight.
If he's pulling his weight and Durant is pulling his weight, Bobo is pulling his weight, Grayson Allen is pulling his weight, well, who's not? Is the coach terrible? That's enough not to be the 11th seed. That's enough.
I'll just say this somehow, and I didn't think this was within the realm of possibility before the season started, but Budenholzer's making Frank Vogel look like a genius.
Okay, so you're saying Bud hasn't had a good coaching season.
He's not had a good year. Defensively, they are really bad, and that roster is defensively they're poorly built. Zubac had 40 last night. Yeah. Zubac.
I mean, center and point guard, which are two important pieces in basketball. Yeah, that's what they lack.
So you mentioned Durant,
but in their most recent heyday, they had Chris Paul and Ayton.
That's crazy.
So
and they got to the
those
finals.
Spots, and they got to the finals.
Yeah.
And it's fuck what we learned.
So,
go another direction.
So you mentioned Durant and Booker pulling their weight, and Bull. Remember, Bull 3 weeks ago wasn't playing. Wasn't in the rotation.
I said when he plays, I know.
Yeah,
and that's bad on Bud though. That's bad on Bud.
Right.
So I understand.
And then Bud recently discovers Connor Gillespie last night.
There you go.
But everybody else, Grayson Allen has been shooting the ball
he shoots.
decent.
Yeah, that's his
but
thing.
Everybody else has been bad or below average. So what team is going to be a good team, much less a contending team, when you have 5 players that are pulling their weight? And they ended up getting Nurkic out of there, who just was not a good fit. wasn't a good locker room guy.
I think it's over anyway for Nurkic.
And again, when you have the roster deficiencies that they had, they didn't have a true center that Bud was willing to play. And Tyus Jones has not been the addition that I thought he would have been at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they thought he can come in and fight for starters minutes at point guard because he has been a great reserve point guard his whole career. Kobe says Booker is NBA's Justin Herbert.
I love that.
I kind of like that.
But the funny thing is when you go to Team USA, Booker really found that role as being like a glue guy and
he's a catch and shoot.
I think that's really what he is. He's an elite role player.
Right.
I think that's really what he is.
Yeah.
But he's offcasted as a superstar, but really he's an elite role player. Yeah. One of the best in the game.
Booker is elite. And I think he is a superstar, but the results when you put the ball in his hands at a high rate has not been good. And when Phoenix
I don't think he could be a superstar.
When Phoenix made
I think I'll take him as a star, but I think when you talk superstar, the very definition of that is 2 things. When that you're capable of shouldering the significant load and still playing efficiently night in and night out, and also at the end of the day, your team fucking wins more than it loses.